We've known for some time that things are getting really bad when it comes to COVID. And I got a terrible news update for you. With several days still to go in December, December is already the worst month ever in the pandemic. Almost a year on, things are getting worse. NBC News reported that we had, just in December, 65,212 deaths.
Oh my God.
So, far more than a Vietnam War. Closing in on 6 million cases. And we're not done. We've still got 10% of the month still to go. To put that in historic perspective, take a look at this. November had 4.4 million cases, October 1.9, September 1.2. And look, there was a period where it was actually going down. September was better than August. But since then, it has exploded. It is between 4 and 5 times worse it was in terms of cases than just a few months ago when things were already bad. And we've got some other bad updates, but Francesca, what do you think? Is this the dark winter?
It is, absolutely. And I think the fact that we're not freaking out about it as much is both good and bad. I think we need to gird ourselves for this long winter, and we can't, the panic I don't think is helpful. The caution is, and the demand on this government to do something. And look, Biden is not what progressives wanted in 2021 at all. But man, if we can do one thing in this next year, which is get this virus under control, which is implement some kind of testing, implement some kind of, the vaccine, obviously, and part of that, linked to that, is even more economic relief to Americans so that they can stay home and not go hungry, then it will be a presidency, honestly, in my book, worthy. And I know that's a low bar. I know it feels like a low bar, but really just getting us to the point of Canada, Germany sometimes, hey, Australia, I'm not even aiming that high, but just some semblance of a federal government, some semblance of a government, y'all, just something. That's how low the bar is now. So yes, obviously the cases are going to be higher. It is winter. People are indoors more. I shudder to think about how this is going to compound with the flu. And I just hope everyone, stays safe and also really bundles up and takes care of folks in your community who can't.
I agree. Yeah, it's going to interact poorly with the fact that we're already more likely to get, serious illnesses during the winter. We don't even know what's going to end up having happened with Christmas. I will say that, we found out in advance of Thanksgiving that the TSA had cleared more people than before in the pandemic. Well, Christmas was worse. They had more people that were flying. And so maybe we'll be lucky, and for no discernible or understandable reason, this historic level of travel won't result in an explosion of cases, but that's probably not going to happen. And January is probably going to be worse than December. And maybe when Biden gets in, one of his aides is now saying that they are leaning towards using the Defense Production Act to increase the production of vaccines because, and maybe I'm crazy, but it seems to me that we should have already done that. If the government could get more of the vaccine out faster and is just choosing not to, that seems like madness.
Yeah.
Because it would infringe on the corporation's rights or something? I tweeted about that and someone was like, well, it's not the same as building the PPE because it has to be in facilities that have certain standards. Yes, and that needs to be done. And in theory, could have been done in anticipation of the vaccine being created. We could have been working on this for literally months leading up to the vaccines being approved. And by the way, there are other places that make other vaccines that could be turned to the production of this vaccine. We are trying to get people vaccinated as fast as possible to save lives. And the slower we do that, the more people die. So the government not choosing to accelerate production will kill people. It's an open question whether it's thousands or tens of thousands or 100,000 individuals, but many will die because Trump doesn't want to do it and is just choosing not to. And somehow that's not even a scandal. It's not even a big story that we're not choosing to do that. Biden maybe doing it is kind of a story, but not the inverse for some reason that I simply cannot understand.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the thing, though, if we expect to get anything done in a big way in this country, turning, whether it's tackling climate change, whether it's Medicare for all, I think this is a test. And so if we can build the infrastructure, if we can utilize the federal government and show that it actually does help people and it is saving lives, that is a wonderful setup, I think. And I'm sure this scares Republicans because, like, oh my God, if you save lives, then they'll want quality living. They'll want to not live in squalor if you start saving lives. But no, if we build this infrastructure to fight this virus, to take care of our people, to help them out through the long-term effects of this, that is absolutely setting our country up for more success when it comes to healthcare overall, Medicare for all one day, right? Like for really tackling another virus that, hey, man, I can't wait for that permafrost to defreeze and anthrax to go all over the world. Let's not talk about that right now. But all I'm saying is, again, these are somehow baby steps for this country that is so backwards and has been revealed to be so backwards. But we can pull ourselves in the right direction.
Hopefully. I want to throw just two other little facts out there.
Yeah, please.
Because we cover pretty much every day. We do updates on the pandemic. And I understand that people get worn down by it. And judging by the views on those videos going back months, nobody cares. But I'm still going to do it because it's kind of important. But I did want to let you know that billionaires in the healthcare space bumped up their wealth by 36.3% between April and July. Apparently, we're making a lot of money. That's $150 billion extra dollars going to just the specific billionaires who make their money in healthcare. So as we need more vaccines and medical equipment and all that, some people are really benefiting from that. So, huzzah for them. At the same time, because the pandemic has gotten so bad in big cities, including the one that I'm broadcasting in right now, here's a comment from a doctor in an LA County public hospital just last week saying ambulances are circling hospitals for hours trying to find one that has a bed open so they can bring in their critically ill COVID patient gasping for air. The doctor called it the apocalypse and said, we're literally hanging on by a thread. There's no bed to put them in, so they just have to circle around hoping that one will show up, like you're trying to find a parking spot in the mall before the holidays in America,
which you should be avoiding.
Exactly, you should definitely be doing that. That's the state we're in.
That is where we're at.
And people are still like LA. It's exploding in LA for a few different reasons. I think that we have that faster spreading strain of the virus. It's winter, so we're indoors together or whatever more. But also, like everywhere else in America, you cannot tell me that people aren't taking it, that people are still taking it seriously, or as seriously as they were every month, the months before. I think that people are getting fatigued and people are giving up. And some people think that we've got the vaccine, so they don't have to be serious about it. And so I think people are spreading it to each other.
Yeah. I blame teenagers. I'm just going to go and blame somebody. So teens.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh God,
I deserve that. No, it's absolutely right, and yeah, it's really upsetting, and also just the fact that like I think about essential workers all the time and the people who have to go to work and do not have paid sick leave, and I've just heard anecdotally stories of people saying that someone in their workplace was sick and that their boss made them go to work anyway. Like this is absolutely a war on working people. This entire COVID, the pandemic response has been a war on working people. Do not get that twisted. Don't let Madonna in a bathtub convince you otherwise. And there will be retribution coming out of this. There will be movements and organizing. Ooh, just you wait. Because man, the ruling class really is operating like the French Revolution never happened. So we will see.
God. Oh God.